So, what does that actually look like in the first 24 hours after payday? It looks like spending 15 minutes reviewing last month. Not to feel bad about it, to learn from it. Where did you overspend relative to what you planned? What category keeps bleeding? Was it food, subscriptions you forgot about, buying things online at midnight when your judgment was off? You can't fix what you don't see. So you look, you identify the one biggest leak, and you decide one specific thing you'll do differently this month. Not 5 things, 1. People fail at financial resolutions the same way they fail at diets. They try to change everything at once, it's overwhelming, and by week 2, they've given up entirely. Change one thing this month, 1. Let that become the new normal, then change another thing next month. This is how habits actually form. Now the subscription audit. Do this every single payday, not once a year. Pull up your bank statement from the last 30 days and look for recurring charges. You are almost certainly paying for something you forgot about. The average American pays for 4.2 subscriptions they don't actively use. That's somewhere between $40 and $120 a month, depending on what they are. Cancel anything you haven't used in the last 30 days. Not paused, cancel. You can always resubscribe. The companies know you probably won't. Here's the compounding version of this whole system. When you do all of this, save first, automate bills, create spending buckets, audit subscriptions, and review your month. You stop making financial decisions based on emotion. Because the decisions are already made, payday is no longer an event. It's just a trigger that kicks off an automated sequence. Your money moves before you can spend it on things you'll regret. That's freedom, not having a ton of money. Having a system that means money stops causing you anxiety because you always know exactly where it is and what it's doing. One last thing, set a money date with yourself. Pick one day a month, make it the same day every month, and spend 20 minutes reviewing your numbers. Balance, savings growth, credit score, income versus expenses. 20 minutes, that's it. The guys who build real wealth over time are not smarter than you. They are just more consistent with very basic habits done without fail. Start this month. Start this payday. Do it in the first 24 hours and your future self, the one with options, with savings, with income that doesn't disappear, will look back at this moment as the one where things actually changed. If this was useful, subscribe to StackSmart. Every week we cover real strategies for building income, managing money, and escaping the paycheck cycle, without the fake guru energy. And if you want to know exactly how to build a $1,000 a month side income from scratch, that video is right here. Watch that next. Number 4, lottery tickets and gambling apps. Now, this isn't a moral argument. Do what you want, but let's be clear-eyed about the math. The expected return on a Powerball ticket is about 50 cents per dollar spent. That means every $2 ticket has an expected value of $1. Sports betting apps are engineered with similar edges built in. The house doesn't have a slight advantage. It has a structural, mathematical, compounding advantage, and the app is designed by teams of behavioral psychologists to keep you in the game. What makes this one particularly relevant to this audience is that lottery tickets and gambling are marketed almost exclusively to people who feel like the normal path isn't working, and that feeling is valid. The normal path is genuinely hard right now, but the lottery isn't an alternative path. It's a tax on that frustration. The same $10 a week in an index fund over 30 years at a 7% average return becomes around $50,000. Not a jackpot, but also not a fantasy. Number 5, rent to own anything. This one should make you angry because it's predatory by design. Rent to own furniture stores, appliance programs, electronics leases. These are built for people who can't qualify for credit. A $400 television can end up costing $1,200 over a rent-to-own term. A $600 laptop becomes $1,800. The effective interest rates on these agreements frequently exceed 100% annually. These aren't financial products. They're traps wearing the costume of accessibility. If you're ever tempted by rent-to-own, the better move is always to buy used outright or wait. A 40-inch TV from Facebook Marketplace for $80 does exactly the same job as the $400 one you'd be renting. Your Netflix doesn't know the difference. Number 6, brand name groceries across the board. Store brand and generic products are, in many categories, made in the same factories as the name brands. This is documented. The FDA requires that generic medications meet the same active ingredient standards as brand names. Consumer reports have repeatedly shown that in categories like canned goods, frozen vegetables, dairy, and cleaning products, the generic version performs identically. The price difference is typically 20 to 40%. On a $600 monthly grocery budget, switching to generic where it makes sense can save $120 to $240 a month. That's $1,440 to $2,880 a year. For identical products, the name brand pays for the marketing. You are literally funding the ad you just watched while you're also buying the product the ad was selling. Number 7, extended warranties on most things. The reason stores push extended warranties so hard is that they're almost pure profit. The markup on warranties is enormous because the actual claim rate is low. Consumer electronics fail mostly within the manufacturer's warranty window or last year's beyond it. The middle period, which is what extended warranties cover, is statistically the most reliable time in a product's life cycle. There are exceptions: major appliances with complex components, expensive electronics where your manufacturer warranty is short, but the floor model TV, the $200 headphones, the mid-range laptop, you don't need the warranty. That $40 or $80 or $150 is almost certainly money you'll never recover in claims. Put it in a small appliance replacement fund instead. You'll come out ahead. Number 8, payday loans and cash advances. This one is obvious, but it's worth saying clearly because 12 million Americans use payday loans every year. The average APR on a payday loan is 400%. Some go higher. If you borrowed $500 and paid it back in 2 weeks at those rates, you're paying $75 to $100 in fees. That's a 20% return on a 2-week loan for the lender. No legitimate investment on earth produces those returns consistently. The pattern underneath payday loans is the real problem. When you're living close enough to the edge that a $500 emergency requires borrowing at 400% interest, the loan isn't the issue. The margin is. The solution isn't better loan terms, it's building even a small buffer that makes the loan unnecessary. $300 sitting in a savings account earning 4.5% interest will save you more money than almost any financial move you make this year, if the alternative is a single payday loan. Number 9, and this is the one that'll probably get the most pushback: status purchases made to signal wealth you don't have yet. Designer clothes, luxury sneakers, high-end watches bought on credit or bought before your financial foundation is solid. The argument isn't that these things are wrong, it's about sequencing. There's a term in behavioral economics called conspicuous consumption, spending to be seen, not to live better. And research consistently shows it's more common at lower income levels than higher ones. People with real wealth tend to underspend on visible status goods relative to their net worth. People building toward wealth often overspend on exactly those goods, because the signal matters more when your actual bank account doesn't reflect what you want people to think. Here's the tell: if you're buying a $400 belt and you don't have a 3-month emergency fund, you're not buying the belt. You're buying what you hope the belt communicates about you. That's not a criticism, that's human psychology, but recognizing it is what allows you to stop doing it. Now here's what ties all 9 of these together, and this is the part that actually matters. None of these purchases are random, they share a structure. They all offer something real in the short term: comfort, status, convenience, hope, and extract a cost that's either hidden, delayed, or normalized. The lottery ticket gives you permission to dream. The new car gives you identity. The extended warranty gives you peace of mind. The convenience fee gives you ease. These aren't irrational purchases. They're very rational responses to real psychological needs. The problem is the price being charged for meeting those needs. What wealthy people who built it, not inherited it, tend to do differently is find cheaper or free ways to meet the same psychological needs. Community for status, skills for confidence, systems for security, long-term thinking for hope. They're not less human. They've just found different transactions for the same emotions. So the practical takeaway isn't Stop buying all 9 of these things tomorrow. It's one question. What need is this purchase actually meeting, and is there a better way to meet it? That question, applied honestly, is worth more than any budget spreadsheet. If this landed for you, subscribe to StackSmart. We put out a new video every week on building real income, managing money without hating your life, and making decisions that your future self will actually thank you for. And if you want to know exactly what to do with your money in the first 24 hours after getting paid, that video's right here. Watch that next.